Okay guys, this might be controversial, but I don't believe you actually need a routine. I have seen so many people go wrong. So many clients come to me thinking that they need a routine to get them consistent in taking action on the things that they want to. But in reality, routines are stifling. So in this video, I want to show you why routines aren't working and something that's a little bit surprising, something that we don't talk about enough. And I'm also going to show you exactly what you need to do instead. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's be fair for a second, because I get it, routine, it does sound a good idea, but in all my years of teaching time management, I have never come across someone who has the ability to create a routine where they're doing the same thing day in, day out, or week in, week out even. I'm sure you're like me, but no 2 days ever look the same. And this is then when routine becomes problematic rather than the thing to help us. Now, in theory, doing the same thing in a routine is useful because the brain actually is a gas guzzling machine. Even though it only weighs less than 5% of our body weight, it uses over 20% of the body's fuel. So the brain likes to conserve energy where it can. So routines in theory are a good idea because if we can do something habitual, if we can do something automatic, then it's going to help us save that brain power, save that energy for something else later. But as I said, the problem is we rarely have a life where we are in routine, where we can do the same thing day in, day out. So routines are great, but they don't actually account for real life. And I don't know about you, but I definitely live a life that is real. And that means that routines aren't working. So routines don't bend when your kids are sick, or when your energy tanks, or when something unexpected gets thrown at you. And that could be a good thing, or maybe not so good thing. I had a client that really got into this whole miracle morning, got to get up at 5 a.m. type thing. And that worked for them until it didn't work for them, because that routine worked well for a bit, created that habit, consistency, until it became hard to sustain, until the in-laws came to say, and they realised they couldn't get up at 5 a.m. until they realised actually they were really bloody tired and they didn't want to get up at 5 a.m. My point here is routines only work to a certain point and then real life happens. So then what do you do? Now, before I dive in and share with you the things that you need to do instead, I just want to share with you something that doesn't get talked about a lot when it comes to routine. Now, the majority of what we do on autopilot, and Joe Dispenza talks about this. He says that 95% of what we do day in, day out is a repetition of what we did yesterday and we'll do again tomorrow. And the good and bad thing about routines is that it reinforces that autopilot. But then the negative side of that is that it's going to keep you stuck. It is going to keep you stuck in that same loop. Now, if you are somebody that wants to grow, wants to expand, you're pushing your comfort zone, you're trying new things, do you honestly think doing 95% of the same thing day in, day out is going to help you do that? Because the problem is routines create this essential walking robot. We're just daydreaming and sleepwalking through life because we're not giving consideration to what we're actually doing. And routine only reinforces that autopilot. So if you want to push your comfort zone, if you want to grow, if you want to expand, you've got to do something different, because nothing changes if you don't change. You can't expand, grow, create something new from the same place that you're in at the moment. And when I'm saying this, I bet you're thinking, oh my God, that's bloody obvious. But this is a part of routine that never gets talked about. This is like the negative downside of routine that doesn't get talked about enough, especially when it comes to expansion, personal development, and time management, of course, which obviously I'm all about. So we want to have some flexibility. We want to be able to expand in our lives and use our time and our energy in a way to do that as well. So if routine doesn't work, what's the answer? Structure. Structure is the thing that is going to be your savior. You need to think of structure as a framework rather than a step-by-step, this is what you have to do checklist, which routine usually lends itself to. Routine usually says you do this, then this, then this, whereas structure is creating like the scaffolding of how to work with your time and your tasks and make it work for you. It blends with your energy. It blends with your lifestyle. It blends with the season that you're in, because actually what works for one season of your life might not work for another. And that might be a physical season, like your routine in winter is not going to be the same as your routine in summer, but it also might include like the season of your life in terms of the transitions that you're making or the goals that you're working with as well. So rather than saying something like, I must meditate at 6 a.m. every single morning because that is part of my morning routine, what I want you to do instead is think about structure. So think about how you're going to set up your waking day in a really positive way for the first 15 minutes. And actually sometimes that might be journaling, other days that might be meditation, other days that might be breath work or tapping, and other days that just might be an extra 15 minutes in bed, and that is okay. And that's a real life example in your personal life, but also this applies to business as well. I work with a lot of business owners, either one-to-one or inside my Business by Design program. And I'm always advocating the importance of structure rather than routine. Because again, routine might say something like, I'm going to write content every single Monday, or I'm going to do this project every single Thursday. But the problem with that is if something comes up, again, it might be a good positive thing, like a new opportunity. If that then gets taken away from you, that Monday content writing slot gets taken away from you, and then, oh, well, I haven't done it this week. So where do I do it? And then it doesn't happen. And then it gets to next week and now you're out of routine and you know the drill. We fall off the bandwagon. But actually, when my clients start working with structure rather than routine, they then realise that actually, okay, I can't do it on a Monday, so where do I restructure it? Because it's an important part of my business, an important part of my week. Where do I restructure it and reschedule it to make it happen? So routine is really rigid, but structure flips that. Structure helps you set that intention of the thing you want to do, like set up your morning well or create content every single week, but it does it in a way that works with your flexibility, that works with your changing schedule, that works with your lifestyle as well. Now, I know this is controversial, lovely, but you don't actually need a routine. What you need is structure. That's going to be the thing that's going to be a game changer for you in helping you create that freedom, that flow, and that flexibility in your life and your business, but in a way that helps keep you consistent and on track. And also, it's going to be really valuable to you when things don't necessarily go according to plan. And that's going to help you stay on track, because what we tend to do is when something goes off track, we throw everything out the window. Like the routine has gone, so we just think, oh, I just won't bother anymore. So you're not failing at your routine, lovely. Your routine is failing you. And this is why you need structure instead. So I would love to know, comment below, what's a routine that you have tried and it maybe hasn't stuck? And also drop in the comments how you are going to use this. How are you going to create structure rather than routine in your life? If you have found this useful, obviously you know what to do, guys. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, because every Monday I drop videos like this to help you unfuck your flow and take action. I am all about helping you with your time and your energy management. So thank you so much for being here. My name is Alice Dartnell. I'm a time and energy management coach, speaker and author, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Where they're doing the same thing day in, day out, or week in, week out. Week?